Is this the end of Leslie's reign? Beyond the Gates deep dive. What is up, my fellow gatekeepers? Welcome back to the channel. If you are watching this, it means you, like me, probably still picking your jaw up off the floor after that Friday cliffhanger. We've seen some wild things in the halls of Fairmont Crest, but Leslie holding a firearm in a dingy hotel room? That was not on my 2026 bingo card. We need to talk, we need to dissect, because what we witnessed wasn't just a plot twist. It was a total character metamorphosis. Today, we're breaking down the psychological warfare, the Nessa factor, and why Detective Marcel Malone might be the only person who can actually see through Leslie's smoke and mirrors. Grab your coffee, settle in, and let's get into the theories. The gun. A tool of power or a sign of total collapse? Let's start with the most jarring image. Leslie holding a gun. Throughout the series, Leslie has been the undisputed queen of the shadow game. She doesn't use her hands. She uses her words, her influence, and her bank account. She is a woman who ruins lives over a glass of vintage Chardonnay without ever raising her voice. So, seeing her with cold steel in her hand, that tells us everything we need to know about her current mental state. My take: Leslie is a manipulator, not a soldier. To me, this gun represents the ultimate loss of control. When a master chess player starts throwing the pieces at their opponent's head, you know they've run out of moves. I've seen some of you in the comments saying, maybe she's finally becoming a badass. But I actually disagree. I think this is a moment of pure, unadulterated desperation. Leslie has always prided herself on being above the grit and the violence. By picking up that weapon, she is admitting that her social status and her clever lies are no longer enough to protect her from whatever Joey is bringing to her doorstep. The victim play theory. Is this a masterful frame-up? Now, let's get into the big theory I've been cooking up. Do I think Leslie actually intends to pull that trigger on Detective Malone? Absolutely not. Leslie is far too smart to become a cop killer. That's a one-way ticket to a life sentence, and Leslie looks terrible in orange. No, I think we are witnessing a stage performance. The theory, the setup. Leslie knows Joey is closing in. She knows he has enough dirt on her to bury her career and her reputation. The move. She lures Malone to the hotel. She holds the gun, looking disheveled, looking terrified. The goal. She wants to frame the narrative. If Malone walks in and sees a frightened elite woman holding a gun for self-defense, she can pivot the entire investigation. I believe she is trying to make it look like Joey has been stalking her, threatening her, and trying to silence her because of what she knows about Nessa. Think about it. If she can convince the law that she is the prey and Joey is the predator, she doesn't just get police protection, she gets a legal hitman in the form of the CPD to take Joey off the board for her. It's brilliant. It's twisted. It's classic Leslie. The Nessa mystery. The secret that could burn the gates. We cannot talk about this scene without mentioning the name that has been haunting this season. Nessa. The way Leslie's voice trembled when she mentioned her to Malone. That wasn't just acting. There is a genuine history there. For those who remember the flashback episodes in the early season, Nessa was always the ghost in Leslie's closet. Psychological analysis. Leslie's power is built on the image of perfection. Nessa represents the crack in that foundation. Whatever happened between them, whether it's a betrayal, a crime, or a secret child, hey, it's a soap. Anything is possible. It's the one thing Leslie can't manipulate her way out of. I'm betting that Joey doesn't just have evidence. He has the truth. And in the world of Beyond the Gates, the truth is more lethal than any bullet. Leslie isn't holding that gun because she's afraid of Joey's fist. She's holding it because she's afraid of the world finding out who she really was before she became the queen of Fairmont Crest. Detective Marcel Malone. The unmovable object. Can we get some appreciation for Daryl W. Handy as Detective Malone? The man is a powerhouse. In this scene, He didn't flinch. He didn't blink. A lot of fans think Malone is just another pawn Leslie can move around. But remember what happened at the Fairmont Crest gala. Malone was the only one who didn't buy her grieving widow act. He's seen the dark underbelly of the elite. He knows that the bigger the mansion, the more skeletons are buried in the backyard. When Leslie looked at him and said, "You have a lot to learn about Miss Leslie," I got chills. That wasn't a threat. It was a challenge. She is telling him that he has only been dealing with the socialite version of her. My prediction: Malone is going to play along for now. He's a veteran. He knows that if he lets Leslie talk, she eventually trip over her own lies. I think Malone is going to pretend to be fooled by her victim act just to see how far she go. It's a game of cat and mouse. But I'm starting to think Malone is the cat, and Leslie is just a very well-dressed mouse in a corner. Comparing the old Leslie to the new Leslie. To understand how significant this hotel room scene is, we have to look back at season 1. Remember when Leslie destroyed the Miller family? She did it with a few phone calls and a forged document. She was calm, cool, and detached. She treated life like a game of Sims. Fast forward to now. She's in a cheap hotel, a place she wouldn't normally set foot in, with a weapon in her hand. This is a devolution of her character. She is losing her sophistication. Is this a final battle for Leslie? I've been debating this with some friends, and I think we are approaching the fall of the House of Leslie. You can only manipulate so many people before the web gets too heavy to hold. By involving a detective in her personal vendetta against Joey, she's inviting the light into her dark corners. This could be her last stand. If this Mandandung stage scene fails, she has nowhere left to run. Deep dive theories and future predictions. Alright, Gatekeepers, let's get wild. Here are my top 3 theories for what happens when the screen fades to black on Monday morning. The accidental discharge. I think the gun goes off, not at Malone, and maybe not even at Joey. I think the gun goes off into the floor or a wall during a struggle, and that loud bang is what brings the rest of the hope and the police crashing down. This would force Leslie to make a choice. Tell the truth or double down on the lie. Joey is already there. What if Joey is in the bathroom? What if Leslie isn't waiting for him? What if she's already caught him? Imagine the twist if Malone opens the door and sees Joey tied up. It would turn this into a hostage situation, changing the genre of the show from drama to thriller instantly. The Malone-Leslie alliance. This is my dark horse theory. What if Malone and Leslie have a common enemy? What if Nessa did something to Malone's family in the past? Could we see the detective and the manipulator team up to take down Joey? It sounds crazy, but the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? Final thoughts. Why this matters. This scene is a turning point for Beyond the Gates. It's moving away from the polite drama of the upper class and into the raw, dangerous reality of survival. Leslie is showing us a side of herself that is dangerous, more dangerous, and the high society woman we've known. She's no longer playing for status. She's playing for her life. And a woman who has nothing to lose is the most terrifying person in the room. What do you think? Is Leslie really going to frame Joey? Or is she actually scared for her life? Do you trust Detective Malone? Or do you think he's finally fallen under Leslie's spell? And most importantly, who is Nessa? Drop your theories in the comments below. I want to read every single one of them. Don't forget to hit that like button if you're Team Malone, or subscribe if you're Team Leslie. I won't judge. We all love a good villain. Until next time, stay tuned and keep watching Beyond the Gates. The drama is just getting started.